What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us today for our market of the moment. I am Austin Assad. I am here with Sean Stewart. We'll be going over the current real estate market, making sure you are well informed, whether you're a buyer or seller, and making sure you know what's going on here in the real estate market. Let's jump right into things. Sean can give us a broad overview of the current market and give us some insight where we stand.
Absolutely. We're going to start off with this overview of the market, which is quite honestly one of my favorite graphs. This really tells a story of what's been happening over the past 15 months, and we can see how things are trending. Now, we do have to take into consideration some of the seasonality that is mixing in here. However, if you take a good close look at the up on top of the top box is going to show you that light green for sales, the darker green solds. The red line is the pendeds, the homes that just recently went under contract, not closed yet, but under contract. And the blue line is the new listings. We are seeing some dramatic numbers from 15 months ago to where we had a just it's like a ski slope down with of our for sale inventory down to the low where we're at right now in January of 21. We're actually we're down year over year 5,680 for sale units. So there are almost, let's just round it up, there are almost 6,000 less homes on the market today for our buyers to look at. And with that, we've actually have an increase of almost 200 homes sold. So, those are dramatic. If we're looking at the market, might be a little bit from January 21st at 5142 units, homes for sale. It's down 15% compared to last month, which is seasonality, and we get that. It it's 52.5% from a year ago. And those are the numbers that we really need to focus on and look at what happened, what was afforded to us last year and what we're getting this year. The other, I think, area to look at, because it's putting the pressure on buyers, is the homes under contract, that pended line of that red line, where we have an extra 648 properties compared to last year that went under contract. So not only do we have 6,000 less properties for sale, we've increased these sold properties that are gone off the market by almost 200. The pended properties are up 650 units compared to last year, with new listings being down 11,154. So there's a lot of pressure on buyers to act fast in this market, and to be working with somebody that is going to help you act fast, to be pre-qualified, to do everything that you need to do to win as a buyer. And I know, Austin, you'll share more with our audience about that. But I want to also say it is an incredible time to be on the market for a seller. The prices are really holding steady, if not continue to move up. And if you'll show the next slide, Austin, we're looking at prices, and if you take a look at the graph, the average sale in January, the month of January 2021 was actually 271,000 was the average for sale price, where you're going to find that is up 1.9% compared to last month, and it's up 13.9. Let's just round it up, 14% compared to last January. So that 271 number, that's the average list price in all of the MLS, is up 14% year over year. And what we're looking at in regards to the red line is actually what has sold. So the average price sold for that month, the average sold price is 195 for the, actually, let me put the glasses on. It's 193 for the month of January. But you're going to see that line that stays, somewhat consistent with the for sales. Now there's a big gap in between what is for sale on average and what sells on average. Yet the consistency does go up from, you could look at November of 19, where it was 170. Now we're $23,000 more at 193. When we looked at the average for sale in November of 19 at 236, it has gone up and risen to 271. So prices continue to go up. Buyer demand is higher than it's ever been. And, sellers have a great opportunity right now to take advantage of that. The next slide that, I want to look at is the average actually dollar per square foot. Now this is something that really helps us out a lot in regards to seeing what what's happening in pricing. It helps us establish the market price for an average home. It helps determine if there are any changes of property values for a specific area based on what we're seeing over the past 15 months. Now, we're not narrowing this down to a neighborhood or a specific city. What you're looking at, this graph and all the graphs that we show, is all of the Northern Ohio multiple listing service. Yet it does also tell a story that you can see on average the price per square foot has risen. So buyers are pushing the prices up because there's so much demand from the buyers, and the inventory being low, sellers are able to get and maximize their dollar today. So we're looking at the consistency of pricing going up, which I know Austin will also talk about our interest rates. So the interest rates are really helping the buyers today to be able to afford this price increase. You're looking at some seasonality here. The top line, the green line, is sold price in compared to original list price. You're looking at 99 to 98% list price to sale price ratio, and that's staying consistent across the board. So if you put your house on the market for $200,000, you're selling it for on average of 196. So that's where that really comes into play. The other average continuous days on market, you see that rise up a little bit in January of 21 compared to the last 4 months of 2020. And that, I think, has to do with two things. One is seasonality. Two is, really people getting, there have been things that have backed up in our world in regards to appraisals, in regards to the banking. Refinancing has slowed things down in our purchases, so there's a backlog with some of the title companies and some of the banks, which have slowed up some of our closings. I think we're going to see that dip right back down to normal, anywhere from that 45 to 50 some odd days, continuous days on market. We're seeing properties go under contract, still in 1 day, in 2 days, in 3 days, with multiple offers coming in on them. By the time we get them actually, closed and off the market, you're about 60 days later. So, it's a great time, to be on the market. This, gives us graph gives us a great expectation in regards to what to expect when you put your house on the market, of when, you may be moving, and, or if you want to get into the market, you start looking at houses. You can start looking at houses today. That you have the ability to be somewhere in a new place in 60 days. So, that's a brief update for my section of this presentation. Austin, why don't you take it from here?
All right, cool. Awesome. Yeah. So taking a look at this graph, it's the months of inventory based on closed sales. As you can see, we had, the beginning of this time last year, it was like 3.3, and then it just declined all the way down to the lowest we saw is 1.1. And, if you're unfamiliar with what months of inventory means, it's an indicator that tells us if we're in a buyer's or a seller's market. If there were no more homes put up for sale on the market and only homes were bought, then for our number right here in January, in 1.5 months, there'd be no more homes available. So the 1.5 really demonstrates that we're in the seller's market, And to put things in perspective, a neutral market would be anywhere from 3 to 6 months of inventory, and then 6 or greater months of inventory is a buyer's market. So that's just the relationship of, how many homes are put on the market and how quickly they're being bought. So speaking of buyers, Sean mentioned that, the inventory is extremely low. And one of the main reasons for this is COVID. And over the course of the beginning, once COVID kind of hit, we've seen a drop in interest rates. This was the government's, trying to make home purchase more affordable during a pandemic. So this time last year, it was around 3.47%. And over the course of the year, it has dropped. And today we're at 2.73% for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So that the decrease in interest for a loan has, really created the demand from the buying side, which has drove up the home prices and kept us with a small amount of inventory. So to put things really into perspective, if you would to purchase a $200,000 home, 30-year fixed rate mortgage, 3.5% down, keeping that as consistent. But changing the interest rate from today, we see at 2.73%, your monthly payment with just principal and interest is going to be $786. If you were about to buy that same home a year ago at the other interest rate at 3.47, got a difference of $77 in your monthly payment. And over the course of the year, you're saving close to $1,000. And then over the 30-year loan, it's a difference of close to $28,000. So as you've seen throughout the beginning of the presentation, the graphs of, the inventory just going down, but the buyer activity and demand has been pretty active and high because of, what's driving this is the low interest rates. And then next slide. So, we're going to wrap things up, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today for our January market recap. Please mark this date on your calendar. February 27th, we'll be hosting a seller seminar. Last month we had a buyer seminar, and this month we're going to be having a seller seminar. So this would be a great time for, if you're thinking about selling anytime in the near future, and get refreshed or learn about the selling process and pick up some great tips to prepare your home for putting on the market and maximize the sale price for your home. So at this time, I'd like to thank you guys for joining for the market of the moment, and see you guys next month.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See ya.